Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel, Mississippi Girl Gardening and Couponing in NC. So I wanted to come on here and give you guys a update of what's been going on. I am gonna be, if it's God's will, doing my coupon haul for this week. It's just a lot that's been keeping me out of the store, so we're gonna get into that. About 2 weeks ago, my vehicle decided to go out on me. And I'm gonna show you guys at the end of what the pictures or whatever. So the vehicle started accelerating on its own while you're driving, like you're not on the gas, and it just started accelerating on its own, like when you're driving or whatever. And so long story short, we got it to the mechanic or whatever and found out it was a transmission. That's $4,000 by itself. I'm debating on if we want to spend $4,000 on getting a transmission out of all the money that has been put into this thing with buying a computer for it this past January and just constant stuff but the thing is, we're still paying notes on it. So if you get another car to replace that one, it makes sense to not keep paying notes on it, but that's going to hurt your credit because you're going to do a voluntary repo. So you don't want to really do that because now that's going to stay on your credit like 7 years. So it's just like, okay. So what happened was, if y'all been following my channel, you know about a year ago, a little over a year ago, a childhood car. It was a new car in my childhood, but it had sat because my uncle had got another car, so it sat for like 6 years, like under a tree or whatever. But I wanted to get it and fix it up because that's what we do back home. So we got the car shipped here, but once I seen it, because I hadn't been back home to see it, once it got shipped here, I realized it had pretty much rotted. Like, it was just so much wrong, like the frame and stuff. And once that, I knew I could not do a lot of repairs to it without putting a whole lot of money in it. So it had been here sitting for a little over a year. So once the vehicle broke down, I've never bought a car because I don't have a line of credit. So I went to this place because I knew I needed to have a vehicle because at this time I was in a rental, and this was last week. And I would not keep paying on a rental that's not yours. So I went to this little bargain place, and I didn't have what they wanted for the down payment. So it was like, excuse me. They was like, do you have anything that you can trade in? And it really wasn't so much the down payment, even though it paid a roll. It was I don't have a credit line, so they was like, and they pulled my credit. It was like, you have zero, and I'm like, well, I have a secured credit card where I thought it was building my credit, and apparently it was doing a little something, but not what they needed it to do. So I was like, I have a old 99 Bonneville. Is like the only thing in that car. It'll run but it is just done. Like, it's done. That's all I have. And the guy, to my surprise, was like, go get it. Like, he's like, go get it. He was like, I give you $500 for it, and then you give me what you have, and we'll put it together for down payment. And he was like, you having something like that to trade in, no matter if it's a $200 car, because you have no credit line, I can get my bank to work with. I'm like, what? Like, so, so yeah, so I went and did that because I'm like, any way I can save, I'm not using the car. The car is too much for me to get fixed right now. So, sorry, y'all. It's early morning, and I'm trying to get this out so I can get to cutting my coupons. But I was like, okay, so I came back home to get it. And that was the time that the thing did not crank. Like it won't hold a crank like it's the battery or something. So I grabbed my title to it and I grabbed my title to it and I went back. And I was like, it was running. And at this point I'm thinking he's not gonna let me have the car because he's gonna think I lied. I said, but this is the battery. He said, can you put the keys in it tonight? I was like, yeah. He was like, I'll send my tow guy to come tow it. And he was like, here go your car keys. I'm like, you still letting me get the car? Like, and he was like, yeah, it's yours. So my first payment is like January. So, and he was like, yeah, your first payment is January. Everything is in the papers, that you signed and all that stuff. He was like, I'll just have somebody to come get it. Or have his tow guy to come get it. So I bought my first car. Excited about that. It's small. It's I'm getting used to because it's so small. But this is the kicker. Sunday, this past Sunday, I got into an accident. Did not total the car or nothing. But the last time I was in a car accident was in 2007. And that accident, if you've been following me, you heard me say I broke 3 bones on my spine. I crushed my tailbone. I broke my pelvis bone. And I was paralyzed from the waist down for 2 weeks. So when this accident happened, it just kind of like mentally like for a hot second. So what happened was I was at an intersection. It was a busy intersection here, and I was trying to turn right on red. So the cars was coming. So I was sitting there just waiting to get a chance to turn out onto the boulevard. Well, I saw the truck behind me. It was I think an old Expedition. I saw him behind me. He was at a standstill with me. Like, he was behind me at a standstill. All the cars just flying through. So I'm waiting to. And so I looked up in my river. I saw him behind me. None. I looked away. Was about to pull out, but still was at a standstill. And boom, I'm hit. And all I know is my head went like that, but it didn't hit the steering wheel, of course. It didn't hit the steering wheel. Had it hit the steering wheel, then we probably would have been a different because of the way it went forward. So I was able to, hold it. I didn't take my feet off the brake or anything like that. Like, it didn't, like, make me, like, some people, it could have, like, really, really startled them. Where, that amount of traffic and stuff, the hit, it did move the vehicle, but my feet was still on the brake. So it moved us, but, I didn't go out into traffic. So I pulled over and everything. The kids was in there, and by it being a small car like that, I was more concerned of the hit and with the kids, and they were just kind of like shook up, like not crying or like that. But my oldest, she got a little look, cause she was like, "Mom, Dad, before you talk to anybody, calm down." She was more scared of our reaction to them. And that's what her, like, she started having like a little tear and stuff. She's just like, please, before you talk to anybody, calm down. My husband was the one that at first was not happy. Not happy. So, but then I guess after the adrenaline came down, the guy was so sorry and everything. And what happened was he was looking, I guess at the drive, at the thing, and his feet just came off. And so when we put over to the side, you know, um, the guy was saying he was sorry, but my husband just like, he just didn't have nothing to say. Like, you could tell he just wasn't happy. It was just like, just like, really, like, really. I think they was all shocked. But After that, he understood it was a accident. The guy was so like he was so cooperative and everything like that. And got to the moment after that, I mean, my husband was in, him was out there smoking a cigarette together, just talking. We just waiting on everybody to come. We did have to get checked out by EMS. My daughter wrist is slightly sprung. The other two kids didn't have any issues, and they was trying to just make sure that I knew what date it was, what day it was. I knew my birthday. I knew who was the president. Just things like that to make sure I didn't have any, the force of me going. I had my vitals taken, and that was like the thing where the paramedics was like, take your vitals, and we're gonna go from there. So my heart rate was like 107, so it was on the higher side. My blood pressure was like 133/88, which for what had just happened was good. Because I have had some panic attacks that had sent me to the hospital because they seemed like they wasn't gonna like let up, and my blood pressure was 157 or like over like 111. And that was during a panic attack. Like, and once they started talking to me or whatever, they realized it was anxiety because it went back to normal range. So after an accident, and that's the thing, like with my first act with the accident in 2007, I stayed calm. I will panic over the unknown and the little things, but the things you should be panicking over, I kind of stay calm. I don't. My body just does. My body just backwards. Like, yeah, it does that. So, he was like, due to what you having, you got anxiety. I'm like, yeah. He was like, due to what just happened, your blood pressure is a little high, but it's not what we expected it to be. And I'm like, it's not what I expected it to be neither. Like, so that's a good thing. So, after that, we waited and waited and waited to have everything done. Like I said, the guy was really, really nice. But to be honest, I felt sorry for the guy because it was an honest, mistake, but it was an accident. So, and then I heard he was like, he asked my husband could he have a cigarette. My husband gave him, a couple cigarettes or whatever. And they stood out there, and I was just like, that's when he got to talk. But I think at the point where he wasn't talking is why, it just looked like, okay. 'Cause at this point, it's like, what is he thinking? Why he ain't hardly saying that? Like, yeah. So that's what's been going on. That's what's been life happened. It really did. I can't even do nothing but because of the fact that I was able to get another car, even though it's small. I'm thankful for it because what's going to happen is I'm gonna end up trading it in a couple months because I don't do small vehicles. I do. Let me see. Since I've been living, my first car on my own was not off a dealership or nothing. It was a small Eagle Talon, a stick shift. After that, I had a Grand Marquis. After that, I had, and these was all, they wasn't off the thing. They wasn't off the like dealership or nothing. So I sold the Grand Marquis to get my car that I love, my Crown Vic. I sold the Grand Marquis to get the Crown Vic. Now this was all back home before I met my husband and everything. So I got the Crown Vic, and a friend had painted it. Had got somebody to paint it that had a shop. It was like I was advertised. I didn't have to pay for it because I was the advertisement for the shop. So if y'all don't know, my nickname is Tinkerbell, or short for Tinkerbell, or to make it short, I get called Tink a lot. So the car had Tinkerbell on it. But the accident totaled my car. Um, my oldest daughter, dad, was driving and driving reckless and everything. And it had been raining that day, and we end up fishtailing where it just started spinning in the road, and then we fishtailed into a telegram pole. And this, like I say, this was 2007. We fishtailed into a telegram pole, and my daughter was in the back. She was 7 months old, and I used to play basketball every day. And I had took the basketball that day before and just throwed it in the back seat, but it didn't go all the way to the floor. It stayed like, because I drive with my seat back. That's just how I drive. So it didn't go to the floor. It stayed in between the front seat, back of the front seat, and the middle part of the seat. And when it fishtailed, the car buckled, like, and I was in the passenger side. He was driving. And I took my seatbelt off once it started spinning because he let go of the wheel, and I was gonna jump over and try to steer the wheel, but it was too late. And at this point, I was like 90 pounds. It was too late. Fishtail turned around the opposite way. Fishtail into a telegram pole on my side. The buckles came out of her seat, her car seat, and she had a cut on her head. It wasn't anything bad. I was numb at the hip because the door came into, like, sitting in my lap. And I had to squeeze out of a hole, like push myself up and squeeze out of the hole to try to crawl over and get out the window. And I just kept telling him, get her out, because I was smelling gas. I thought that car was going to blow, and I was concerned about getting her out of the car. So he got her out, and I had to, like, crawl out of, like, a little whole area to the other seat to get out of the thing. Once I stood up, I just started hitting the car, because it was so much pain. I was numb at first, and then the pain just kicked in. So across the street from the accident was a nurse, and she came over and she told me to sit down, don't move, this. And by the time paramedics came, they put me on the stretcher, and I remember they put her in the ambulance with me, in her car seat, and they took us to the hospital. But I know halfway there, I blanked out, because when I remember anything else, I was already off the ambulance into the trauma room, and they was cutting. When I opened my eyes, it was just lights everywhere, doctors and nurses everywhere, and they had scissors and was, like, cutting my clothes off. And I remember, I'll never forget, I asked one of the nurses, how was my daughter? She said, she'll be fine. She just had a little cut. She's fine. And I said, am I going to live? And she just started crying and walked off. I thought I was gone. I didn't know what she was saying or what. I know I wasn't bleeding or anything, but later I found out that, like, I learned then what eternal bleeding was, because at this point I was 20. And long story short, after all the things or whatever, they found out what was going on. I had to have blood thinners, shots and stuff like that. Couldn't move my legs, and that's when he left me for somebody else, because he thought I was going to be paralyzed for the rest of my life. So didn't even come to the hospital to see me, nothing. I got out the hospital. I didn't want to contact my family or nothing, because at this point I felt like it was my responsibility. So I did not contact any family members. And mind you, I had moved myself when I turned 18, it's like 25 minutes from my hometown. So it was easy not to let family member know. And yeah, so I was with a 7-month-old on crutches, not able to move my legs, by myself, because he went off with somebody else. When I got out the hospital, I didn't have money to get my pain medicine. Thank God I never was in pain. All those injuries, I never was in pain. It happened on a Friday night. They let me at the hospital on Monday morning. They was monitoring. They made me kind of like try to like I had to get one of those things at the hospital, like what the older people have, not the crutches, but the walker things, because I couldn't move. So you just kind of like to the side. And then they did more CT scans. They wanted to see if the pelvis was going to move, or then they would have had to go in and do surgery. But it didn't move. It didn't like shift. It was like hanging on. So they said it'll heal by itself. I had to go to therapy, and I had to be with those crutches for 6 weeks. But I went back 2 weeks later to get checked out, and the knot that was at the lower part of my tailbone was gone. And the doctor could not believe it. But he said I had to be on crutches because of the bones on my spine. He said they was dangling, just dangling by a thread. And they didn't want them to move or anything like that. I didn't have no issues, thank God. So when that accident hit, I knew it was nowhere as bad as that or anything. My thing was the way my head went forward, even though it didn't hit nothing, because now I'm already well aware of, just because you don't see any physical injuries, there could be internal. So that's why I wanted to get checked out by EMS, see what they thought this because I did do a big forward. So I think that's where the other accident came in. It was with me. Let me see. Are you in class? Okay, y'all. So now I'm about to go, and I'm gonna show you the vehicle that's broke down and the vehicle that I was able to get. It's cold, so I'm gonna make this very very quick, and I'm gonna show you while I'm out here, I'm gonna show you the pictures of the accident that happened this past Sunday. It's the bumper that's gonna have to get fixed. The guy had insurance, so his insurance company will pay for it, which the Esther or whatever the name is, he should be coming out December 2nd to estimate everything and stuff like that. But accidents do happen. Like, other than my husband wasn't saying nothing at first to the guy, it was an accident. Clearly it was an accident. And any of us has had, at some point of our life, our feet slip off the thing or something, or you may think somebody's going to pull out and then they don't, or you could just be sitting waiting thinking you have enough pressure. It can happen to any of us. So yeah. So let's go out here and look. Okay, you guys. So this is my sick baby. She's sick. So she's a 2012 Dodge Grand Caravan. Yeah, but she's sick, and we do miss the space. We miss the space so bad. Just having that extra space. But this is my new baby that I got all by myself. Like, everything has went through my husband because he has the VA, and before he got out the military, he had the military. So everything went through him, any cars or anything like that, because he got the credit line and he had the income and all that. But for me to get her by myself, yeah. So my first car off in a dealership, not my first car ever, but my first car that I've gotten from a dealership. So it is a 2010 Nissan Sentra, my little starter car to building credit. And it's locked right now, but she's really nice. But this is the damage from the accident. So he ran into the back. I gotta take her to the wash today because that's just dirt. because I was delivering yesterday and I went to an area that was like, I'm like, oh no. It was dirty, like splashing. Yeah, because it had rained the other day. So, but he ran into, see, and I just got, I still have temp tags on it. But you see, he hit, and it buckled, it dropped my bumper. And you can see over here too. So the bumper gonna have to get fixed. If y'all can see real good how the bumper is dropped. So yeah, the bumper gonna have to get fixed. So yeah. Whew. So I had to hurry up and get back in, y'all, because it's like 45 degrees out there. And I was out there in a little skirt and a little short sleeve shirt. But yeah, so that's the dealio. That is up close, real life, what I've been dealing with for the past 2 weeks. Let me see. So I think it was like the 13th that the vehicle went out, and it was on a weekend. So we had to wait till that Monday when I got the rental. And then that Tuesday, I think, is when I got the vehicle and I took the rental back. So yeah, so hopefully in about 8 months. So when I say I'm gonna be couponing like crazy because I ain't trying to spend no money, yeah, like, but I haven't even looked at my deals, at my thing. I haven't even clipped my coupons, which I'm about to get started on that after I eat breakfast, because I missed out on my Dollar General deal and I hate that. But I just been trying to get everything situated. And then we end up in another car accident. Well, we ended up in a car accident on Sunday. So it's just like, dang. But it could have been worse. I could have totaled that car and just got it. But it's not even about the totaling. It's about the fact that we're okay. We're okay. We wasn't majorly hurt. At first I was not woozy, but for a couple hours I felt like it knocked my sinuses loose or something. It was just someone right. But after being checked out by EMS, I decided not to go to the hospital because too much COVID. I done been to the hospital enough this year. Enough this year. So yeah, so we duked it out. So I think everybody's officially safe to say it's fine, because it's been 48 hours. What, today will be 48 hours since then. So I feel like we would know something. My back started being sore yesterday though. And it's sore now. My back and my wrist, because I was actually holding the steering wheel with this hand, and it, like when I felt the bump, I kind of gripped it even harder to make sure I didn't like move or nothing. And yeah, and I can like feel it like in here. So, but other than that, that's normal. You have a little soreness just from the force of it, and then that's a small vehicle. So yeah. So I want to let you guys know that's why, because I supposed to have went out there and planted some more stuff and different things. But when I tell you I've been out from home every day just trying to handle this, they need this. Because even after getting the car, I had to do like the paperwork, then I had to go sign stuff for the bank and different things like that. And then I needed to go and do a couple like deliveries and stuff. And it's just been extremely crazy. But if it's God's will, I should have a haul for y'all, a haul video for y'all today or tomorrow. Shooting for today. But I'm just ready to get back on track with doing my, because I wanted to do my deals like on Mondays for y'all. That way you have all week to go and do the deals. But like I say, life happened. It is what it is. So yeah. My stomach is over here talking to me right now. So I need to go eat. So I hope you guys be safe. And I see your comments. I will be responding to comments today. If God say the same, I will be commenting today. I've got so many comments that I have not had a chance to even comment on. So I will be doing that today. So I want y'all to be safe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.